Coming up today, we're going to talk about the latest Disney news and rumors. That's coming up today on Traveling with the Mouse. Welcome, everyone, to episode number 478 of Traveling with the Mouse. My name is Adam, and I am joined, as always, by John. Remember who you are.
Do you remember who you are?
I remember who Mufasa is. Yeah. Are you excited about that, by the way, Mufasa?
The one thing that kind of got me into it is the whole like Scar Mufasa dynamic growing up, so to speak. I'm kind of interested in seeing that.
It could be.
And I haven't even seen the first live action one, the live action remake. I never watched it of The Lion King.
Honestly, I have not watched that one either. But this one, I know Lin-Manuel does the songs, so I'm very curious about the soundtrack. Because this would, obviously not be a remake, so it wouldn't be the same songs. It's all new stuff, so I'm curious. I might actually go see this.
So, that's right. Last week, we had mentioned about Moana 2. Is that the one thing that was missing from Moana 2 that should have been there?
I think so. I think it was
Lin-Manuel.
Yeah, I think it was clearly missing. Because the songs were okay, but as of right now, like the first Moana, out of the theater, I was singing, I am Moana, but the second one, like, not as memorable. I can't remember a single song, honestly.
Aha.
So.
See, the song that I always liked the most from the first one was Away, Away.
Yes, right, that one too. And actually, I like what's the title of the song about staying where you are? Where you are?
Yeah, all the songs are good.
Anyway.
And of course, Tamatoa's song.
Yes, of course, that one was amazing.
Shiny.
So yes, I'm looking forward to Mufasa. I might go see it in the theater.
Well, let's not go that far.
We'll see.
I mean,
what? You're not going to
I may not go that far.
Yeah, I might. We'll see. Christmas break is long.
It might. No.
It's a long break for the kids.
It's a long break.
In school,
yeah.
So.
How much of that break will you be getting?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying is like, take them to see this. Maybe they'll be quiet for 90 minutes. Although it looks like the runtime is almost 2 hours. So that, and right before we started recording, I was talking about Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. We don't really talk about video games much on this show.
But the Great Circle of Indy.
Yeah. Well, Circle of Life, Mufasa, Circle, Indiana Jones. Well, it's a whole connection there.
I guess there's a segue there.
But this one looks to be one of the, if not the best, Indiana Jones video game I've seen so far. I haven't played it yet. I'm going to probably
Well, it's not like that's a high bar.
That's true. I think the Infernal Machine was probably the Super Nintendo one.
Yeah, the trilogy ones.
That was pretty good.
Yeah, that was probably my favorite one.
The side-scroller indie.
No, I think it was the NES Temple of Doom.
Oh, gosh. Yikes. Isn't that one on an episode of Angry Video Game Nerd? Or no?
I'm sure it is.
It might have been.
Did they have a Last Crusade one for NES? I don't think I ever got to play that one.
I think they did.
And I think it was also bad for that.
Probably. I mean, what game is really good for the NES aside from like Mario 3?
Oh, well, the Mario, yeah. They didn't really do Star Wars that good up until the Super Nintendo.
Yes, that was another Star Wars trilogy of games. Although the indie one was one game, right? And then Star Wars was 3 separate games.
For the NES?
They were all separate. For the Super Nintendo.
Oh, yeah. No, yeah, you're right. They did one collection that it covered the entire trilogy for indie.
Yeah, of indie, right.
Which I guess, of course, they made more money off of Star Wars because they split them up. That's perfect.
Probably.
They didn't come. They didn't know how many of them they were going to do, probably, to start with.
Yeah. But anyway, those games were pretty good. But again, we'll see. I don't know. Maybe I'll bring it up if I think it's worth talking about after I play it. But a lot of new things coming out. There's several updates, too, to talk about from last week. And
there is?
No, I mean, there's mostly small stories, but we'll chat about them.
Okay.
One of the ones, I briefly mentioned this last week, but they finally released the map for the half marathon that I'll be doing in January, the Disney World Half Marathon and Full Marathon. I guess maybe they were waiting so long to release this because of the construction at Magic Kingdom that's about to happen. The Full Marathon updated its map too, to where the Magic Kingdom section is reversed. Like last year, it was coming up the Contemporary side into Magic Kingdom and then going through Tomorrowland around and then exiting through like around. I thought it was Adventureland, like the Pirates, between Pirates, exiting that way backstage. And this year it's reversed to where you're going through by the Grand Floridian side, the trail between Grand Floridian and Magic Kingdom. You're going in that way, and you're going around Adventureland, and I guess kind of avoiding the Frontier, like the Big Thunder area, Frontierland, I guess is what they're saying.
They're trying to not give away the expansion, I guess.
Yeah. So there's no backstage on that side because of all the construction that will be starting over there. So they're avoiding that, I guess, is why. And now to make it longer, for the Full Marathon, I noticed you're kind of doubling back in the parking lot a lot, the Magic Kingdom parking lot, because you have to make it 26 miles. So interesting how they've had to kind of adjust, but it'll still be basically all of Magic Kingdom and then through the castle, which is neat. That was not from what I saw last year on the map, so that's kind of fun to be able to run through the castle. So we'll see how it goes. I'm looking forward to finishing this race.
I'm gonna say, are you going to, or are you allowed to wear like a GoPro or something when you're?
I know you can take pictures like in video. If I had a GoPro, I probably could.
You can wear it while you're running.
Stream the entire thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
You mean you've never gotten a GoPro?
I've never
owned a GoPro.
Yeah, I'll probably take some pictures here and there, but I mean, I'm trying to focus on
any type of action cam.
Well, I don't want to hurt myself. That's my biggest thing. Is I don't want to injure myself, but I just want
things you think about as you get older.
Yeah, I know, because it's like, yeah,
it's not only do I want to finish. I want to finish in one piece.
Yeah, right. I just want to still be standing when I'm done. I'm still standing. I'd say that. So speaking of Mufasa, another new thing is the Mufasa Tree of Life Awakening show is happening already.
Will that still be going on in January?
I don't know. It says limited time. Yeah. But it's it says the show plays in rotation with other shows after sunset. So it's you get to see this for half an hour before the park closes. I don't know.
Well, in all fairness, the sun does set earlier.
Yeah, the days are getting shorter, so you get hour and a half now of darkness before.
Let's see, our arrival day is January the 17th. So
yeah, maybe. I mean, the movie comes out on the 20th of December, so will it stay a month after? I guess it depends on how well the movie does in theaters.
Yeah, possibly.
So far, Disney's on a winning streak. Moana 2's doing pretty well at the box office.
Yeah. What does it compare to some other sequels, though? Because sequels have a tendency to have inflated attendance because people like the first one. Yeah. You know what I mean? So
yeah, it definitely helps. But I mean,
that's why they do so many sequels.
It's been holding its own, though.
Yeah.
Against
that's why they do so many sequels, because they make money.
Right. But I mean,
whether they're good or not.
It's holding pretty steady even behind Wicked. Like, Wicked is doing well, of course, but
it's doing wicked well.
It's doing better, I think, than Wicked. So, let's see.
And Wicked came out after, right?
Yeah, currently worldwide, it's at $610 million.
Man.
Let's see, this is worldwide box office. Yeah, it's number 5 for 2024 already.
Mr. Worldwide.
So Disney, out of the top 5 movies of 2024 box office wise, 3 of them are Disney. So
true Disney or just their?
Well, Inside Out 2 is number 1.
Okay.
Worldwide box office $1.698 billion.
Okay.
So almost $1.7 billion. Deadpool Wolverine's number 2 at $1.338 billion.
Right. So Disney product.
So the top 2 are Disney, and then 3 Universal with Despicable Me 4 at $969 million. Dune 2, $714, and then currently Moana 2 at $610. I don't think it would overtake. Doesn't like it would overtake Dune 2 by the end of the year, though. Probably.
Well,
got 100 million.
It'll have some numbers. Yeah, it'll have some numbers for next year, though. But you got to think during Christmas break, Moana should get a boost.
Maybe it would. Yeah, that's a good point. Maybe worldwide, it might be able to get in the top 4. And then Mufasa, if it gets a strong opening, it might, I don't know if it would get that far.
Not for this year.
But overall, it might. So.
What are you going to do? Kill Mufasa?
So, I mean, do you give the credit to Iger on this? As saying, he's kind of brought back the box office. I mean, Disney's had a few dull years until this year, really.
I don't think it has anything to do with him, though.
Really?
Not really.
You don't think so?
Does he make them? Does he make them? I mean,
well, I mean, I feel like Moana 2 was probably his idea to make it a theatrical. Or not idea, but it was probably him pushing for it because now he was
the one that changed it from a television show, I think.
Yeah, in a Frozen 4, and it worked. I mean, I'm surprised it's doing as well as it's doing, honestly. But I don't know. People are going to see it, so
why did it take so long for them to figure out that Moana needed a sequel? That's my thing.
True. I mean, it should have had. Well. Yeah, it should have already had one, probably. But anyway, that was maybe Chapek was like Walt and didn't like sequels. I don't know. That's not true.
No, because there was at least some that came out during his time period.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. It seems like they're hitting better. Maybe it's just timing. More people are going back to the movies. Possibly, I don't know.
Realizing that what they were doing, people weren't identifying with. I mean, this could be another thing.
Well, that was also an Iger decision. But he publicly said that. I don't know.
I think he also said they were going to scale back on the Marvel and Star Wars stuff, and I can't really see a whole lot of evidence of that.
Speaking of Star Wars, though, have you watched any of the
Skeleton Crew? No, I haven't. I have heard about it, though.
Yeah, a lot of people
I've heard about some comparisons between that and Captain EO, actually.
Oh, interesting.
The characters. Yeah.
I've heard some, positive things about it, but I've been burned so many times right now with Star Wars.
Yeah. It's 3 episodes in, though, right?
Yeah. So I may try to catch up. We'll see.
Yeah.
Outside of Disney, though, I was just looking at the movies this year. There's just nothing I really want to see. So maybe that's the point.
Yeah, there's that.
A lot of sequels like Gladiator 2, another Bad Boys movie, Beetlejuice, Kung Fu Panda 4. All these are in the top.
Have you not watched Beetlejuice?
I have not.
It's quite good.
Another Planet of the Apes movie. Like a lot of sequels this year.
Yeah.
Another Godzilla Kong movie. That one was number 6. So yeah.
Are they ever going to
a Venom
have
movie.
another season of The Mandalorian? I mean, at this point, Pedro Pascal will be in the nursing home by the time they bring him
I
back.
don't know about that. He's not that old, but
I know, but I mean, they're really slow to do these.
weren't they gonna do a movie?
It was at least discussed.
I wonder if it's still in.
It's about as far as I recall it going.
They're like, hey, this is successful. Let's put it in a movie form instead of another season.
Oh, by the way, apparently they're doing a live action Lilo and Stitch, right? It's supposed to come out.
Yes,
That was one of the previews.
I saw the trailer for it during Moana 2.
Yeah.
It looked okay, but again, I wasn't a big fan of the original Lilo and Stitch, to be honest.
Right.
So
I wasn't the biggest fan either.
But it will do well, I'm sure. That's another one. I think they're hitting on all cylinders currently with the films, which will help.
They're actually doing better, it seems like, at the moment with the films than they are the parks.
Yeah, which may help them decide to actually invest more in the parks.
Maybe.
Speaking of the parks, that was one that was a little surprising that kind of came out of nowhere was Gran Fiesta Tour is going to be down for a 2-month refurbishment.
Yes.
And, it doesn't sound long enough to be converting anything to Coco or anything, but what would they, I know,
More
they've
than
had
2 months
issues.
for?
Right. They've had issues with the animatronics frequently. Those older Three Caballero animatronics that are 50 plus years old. But other than that, I mean, what else is there to update on this? Maybe they'll finally make a few other changes. I don't know. Doesn't seem like it.
Well, if you think about this, he's mentioned that it doesn't seem long enough to convert it to Coco. I kind of disagree. You could very easily because the overlay of Gran Fiesta Tour. I mean, think about what all they did.
Just some screens add.
Yeah,
Coco
it's mostly screens that they changed when they changed it to Gran Fiesta Tour, with the exception of the 3 animatronics that we're just talking about. There really isn't anything. I mean, there's what is there? There's a Pinata Donald right in there somewhere.
So would you have an Ernesto de la Cruz animatronic at the end instead of the 3 Caballeros?
For all we know, they could have already been working on one and kept it under wraps, and then all they got to do is install it.
Why wouldn't they mention that at D23 though? It's just.
Yeah, you got a good point.
But I mean, they don't mention.
It's not likely to be surprised with anything.
They didn't mention the Lakeside Lodge.
That's true. They didn't mention the new name, did they?
Yeah. Odd that, I don't know. They just left some.
Just pick and choose. Maybe they're trying to do like they used to and not tell everybody everything before they do it. That'd be too much to ask for. It's kind of hard to keep the stuff quiet, though. That's the problem in this day and age.
Yeah.
But there have been some surprises, some possibilities for surprise. Maybe this is simply an update to a newer animatronic. Maybe they already have that in the works for the animatronic part of this ride.
Could be. Maybe because Donald recently turned 90 that they're going to give him a better animatronic for this. I don't know.
I really, it's hard to say what they might do.
Yeah. Maybe they just need actual maintenance on.
Maybe it needs a good bit of maintenance. I mean, because
possibly
it's like never down, right? I can't think of the last time it was under a refurbishment.
Yeah, it's probably been since they changed it. When was it, 2007 or something? When they last?
Yeah, it was early. That's been a good while.
Yeah, I can't think of a time, but maybe they're somewhere in there. They've had a brief refurb or something. Possibly. But now, what are we supposed to do? Because it closes January 6th, was it? Through possibly March 15th. Yeah. So what are we supposed to do after we go to Lakawa now? That was part of the fun of
Frozen. I don't know.
You have to stumble your way to Frozen to do a boat ride.
You have to. Not only that, you have to go down some steps. So.
Oh boy. Dang. What am I gonna do? What are we gonna do without the stars to guide us?
You're gonna eat. Yeah, you're going to eat at the San Hill Inn.
Oof. I don't know about that. Yeah. I'll just stick to the chips and guac and queso at Lakawa, which probably comes from there actually. They
from
share
the
a kitchen.
Yes. Oh yeah, I'm sure. Anything food related, I'm sure comes from the kitchen. Apparently,
Right.
the same type food or style of food they also serve across the way. So,
Right. Yeah, slowly
as
found
far as
out.
the chips, anyway, right?
Is there like some underground passage that they
Well, I
oh
just stock their kitchen with that part.
yeah, possibly.
I've always felt like the dishes at La Hacienda were more traditional than the ones in San
Yeah.
Angel. That's the one
Right.
thing. The
It's
main the entrees.
yeah. It's been a while since I've eaten at San and Hell, so I'm like, maybe I should try it. Maybe I should try it again because the ambiance is nice, especially if you're sitting out
I
by
think
the
some people's
water.
complaints was a little too dark, but
Yeah. I mean, it is.
always what is it? It's the Walt Disney World version of the Blue
Blue
Bayou.
Bayou. Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
not quite
Not
the
quite
same.
as fun of a ride at the end of it,
Yes, it
but
does
still.
remind you of it though, just because when you were going by, it kind of looks like it's
It's very similar, yes.
yeah,
Very similar.
very similar pattern, I guess, the way they
Which
outlined it.
it's kind of sad because Disneyland Paris also has something like that for their pirates. And because, wait, what is there? It's like Jack Sparrow's restaurant. What is it? I forgot what the name of it is in Paris, but it's basically like Jack Sparrow's Tavern or something. And, we had none of that in Florida.
Yeah,
The pirates there is just such a rushed afterthought. It still
yeah.
bugs me.
And they have found a way to make the bar overlook the ride somehow.
Maybe
but-
right. That's what they should have. The Pirates Tavern should have like a window out into
into the ride.
but what part of the ride? I guess it would be the Tortuga section where that would be
Maybe.
fun actually.
I mean,
But-
they've had other, what is it? I guess technically in Pinocchio, you can see some of Small World.
Yeah, they totally should do that. That would have been more
At
fun. But anyway,
Garden Grill, you can see part of the land, right? So,
which is kind of fun. I love when you're over the desert in the farm area is fun to watch too. But anyway,
yeah, you can see that they have a bedroom that's actually themed, I guess, because you can see it from the restaurant. Otherwise, they wouldn't have bothered up in that house.
yeah. So more happenings for 2025. Next year will be the 30th anniversary of Flower and Garden. And
okay.
it's going to be March 5th through June 2nd. So I think they're kind of back to where it was. So we're going to end up with more Diet Epcot next year, I think. Because
Are they actually realizing that there's too many festivals? Or too
it
close
sounds
together?
like it. Because they finally starting to shorten these. Because I'm trying to recall this year, I feel like it was like late February to like July. Because like every time I went this year, it was like, oh, Flower and Garden is still happening. It's like, oh, it's Flower and Garden again. Oh, it's Flower and Garden again. Still happening. But this year, March 5th to June 2nd. And Food and Wine didn't start until late July this year. Basically Halloween season at Disney. So that would mean, assuming Food and Wine is going to be the same, this is like 2 months of Diet Epcot this year.
Interesting.
Plus, let's see, what are the dates for Festival of the Arts?
I know it'll be going on while I'm there. Apparently,
Let's see.
the Gran Fiesta Tour will not be going on while I'm there.
Yeah, it won't be. Yeah, a lot of things are weekend. Big Thunder too.
Yeah,
And
Thunder will be gone.
Triceratops Spin.
It'd be a good time to do a challenge.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, next year we need to like fully do that once Rivers of America closes. It's gonna be like the easiest completion
Well,
ever.
let's see. After Thunder and Fiesta Tour close, Triceratops Spin, right, will be gone. What else? There's already 3 rides down right there that's going to be down in January.
Yeah,
Test Track's still down.
right.
I mean,
Yeah, at least until late summer. So Festival of the Arts is January 17th through, which is the day you arrive, through February 24th. So there'll be a week between Farts and Flower and Garden. And then looks like 2 months possibly between Flower and Garden and Food and Wine. So that's good.
Yeah, back in the day, Flower and Garden, the basic thing, what it was is it was pretty much just the topiaries that they put out.
Yeah.
That was pretty much
that was
what it was.
change, right?
That was
And
the big
now
draw,
it's-
actually. That was
right.
the fun thing they were doing.
And now that's kind of the
That's a hybrid between
side
that
note,
and Food and
yeah.
Wine.
right. Which Flower and Garden has more of the outdoor kitchens than aside from
Food and
Food and Wine. has just as many.
And wasn't it the Flower and Garden that actually started or first started having bands? The Garden concert series or
Rocks.
whatever? Yeah.
I think it may have been. Yeah. That's a good question.
So,
but this is the 30th year. Speaking of that, they did release some of the Garden Rocks performances, which I don't need to go through all those, but you know, the usual ones. I've seen the same ones. Herman's Hermits, Air Supply.
and tells me I'm into something good. So,
exactly. 38 Special. I've seen these names a lot.
well,
So-
they're affordable and they're they're available.
Exactly. Right.
Is there no one in there that's like a surprise, or you're just skimming over the list?
Yeah, not really. Blue
Is there anybody you would
October?
want to see?
Not really.
Well,
Not
all right
really.
then.
Not in particular. That's March. They haven't released April or May yet.
Is
in
Toby
terms
Mac
of-
in there? He's usually
Yeah, he
he's
probably
usually
will be.
a regular on either that one or the Flower and Garden or Food and Wine.
He'll be at some point, yeah, most likely. But so far, just March has been released.
Sister Hazel.
Yeah, right. And
I was
Sugar
just trying to
Ray.
think of the ones. Yeah. Hasn't
Those will
Hootie
be
been
out
there
there.
before? I feel like they have.
I feel like they have, yeah.
Or at least
I think
maybe it was
our-
just a Darius.
Darius Rucker, yeah, probably.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I'm looking, you know, as usual, every year I enjoy the festivals. There's little things that each one I like. Again, this year I was talking about Festival of the Holidays. I really enjoy, it's very unique, so I love that. And I've come to enjoy the Candlelight Processional a lot. Neil Patrick Harris, I actually watched his live stream. He just did a random live stream on Instagram the other day, and he talked about coming to Epcot to do the candlelight. So he was inviting everybody, you know, like if you happen to be there, come see me do the thing. And he mentioned La Cava, of course, as well, because I noticed that La Cava picked it up on their social media as well. Sure. That's his favorite place, of course. Speaking of Christmas and everything, I was gonna have to go on this rant about Tally the elf. Have you
Rant?
kept up with the drama?
No,
Tally the elf.
I didn't know Tally existed until you mentioned him. So
Yeah. Well, because he went viral. I mean, so he's an actor who was in the Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Parade at the Christmas party, and he would go around and he would mainly talk to the adults, but he would talk to kids and as well who were watching the parade. He would go as he was doing his thing in the parade. He would go over and talk to people and ask their name, and he would tell them if they're on the naughty or nice list. And of course, it went viral online where, you know, he would be very funny and how a lot of the adults tell them they're on the naughty list, and he would, you know, make comments and, you know, say things like, you got to get it together. You got a little bit more time before Christmas, you know, get your act together kind of thing. It was all in good fun, but apparently can't have a good thing because people got too obsessed with him, I guess. And, they tracked him down in real life and like found out who he really is and, you know, all this kind of stuff. So like,
that's what happened?
Right. I think it was like, I think it was meant to be like a little like fun thing in the parade. No one thought it would go viral, I'm sure, but it did. And, so
I don't
that's
understand why
probably,
that's that big of a deal. I mean, back in the day, people knew who the guy that played Francis Flute of the street performers in Hollywood studios.
Well,
They knew who he was.
I guess he was getting, I don't know if it was threats or things, but it was kind of being disruptive. Like
Threats?
some people were shouting his real name out at him, and like it was getting uncomfortable, I think is what it was getting at.
So people are the problem.
Yes. It made me want to go to the Christmas party because I thought it would be a cool interaction that is fun, lighthearted stuff. But of course, nobody can have anything good anymore because we have to ruin it today and go too far with it and whatever, get obsessed with everything. So why do we have to find out who this person is and where he lives and everything? Like, why do we have to, why do people do that?
I didn't have to because, well, I didn't.
Right. But I mean,
I didn't even know it existed, like I said, until you mentioned it. So,
but I've sent you guys some clips, right? You saw the clips.
You did right there. Yeah, but
I thought it was
I
really
would have
funny.
never, nothing about it made me say, hey, who is this guy? I need to find out where he lives.
Right, exactly. I don't know what makes people do that today, but that's what happens. I don't know how it came about. Right. So, anyway, apparently people found that he was on the episode of, I think it was Blackish, where they went to Disney World. He was in that episode. So he's an actor that...
Are we sure that this is really the reason?
That's what it seems like, yeah.
Yeah, again, but it's not the official story, right? Like Disney hasn't.
Well, I mean, Disney hasn't said anything, but that doesn't mean, a lot
See,
of
I think a lot of this is
just
just rumor and innuendo as to the reason why right now. Well, what if he shows back up?
Hopefully he does, but that's my hope, because
maybe
it
he
was
just
a
got
really
sick.
cool thing. We'll see, but that's what most people are saying. So, but moving on to something else, this Floridian Way construction, they've even, the Palm and Magnolia golf courses, they've had to reroute some of the holes because they've changed the road there between Polynesian and Grand Floridian. And now the road is kind of going even further around, like, the cast member parking lot for Grand Floridian. So it's like even further away from Magic Kingdom. So a lot of speculation going on that they might be making room for another resort next to Grand Floridian on Seven Seas Lagoon. I also wonder, is it just future expansion area for Magic Kingdom, possibly, is why they're...
It's a lot of room for
moving
speculation.
This road around. Yeah. What do you think they might be doing? They're definitely making more room around Magic Kingdom as a product of moving this road. So Villain's Land might be a part of it, because the construction that's already done on Floridian Way, where it's widened and everything, has shifted the road that was behind Magic Kingdom further back. So,
I don't know that that's really ideal for Magic Kingdom expansion, just because it seems like a good bit of real estate and it seems pretty far away from the existing Magic Kingdom.
Yeah. You've got that canal that the electric water pageant stored to in between.
Right. Yeah. I mean, what are you going to do?
Unless you...
I guess I could go under or over. No,
Yeah.
you could go under or over like you do with the railroad.
Right? Probably be hard to go under because of the low water table.
Yeah. Okay. So you could go over it then.
But
they could find a combination of... I doubt they would do it at the same time, just because of the price tag and the amount of land being used. But they could make a combination of perhaps a themed resort as well as an expansion. You know what I mean?
Right.
Actually have a hotel that enters into Magic Kingdom,
which would be really cool. Now, it wouldn't be as cool as like Disneyland Paris, where you can walk straight in the front gate, or you can look into the park, like to the castle.
It would also fit Iger's MO because, Universal has one that's in the park now. So,
right.
So now we have to have one.
Where exactly? Yeah, that could be part of it. Right. Right. To quote Pirates. Actually, it's close enough to that Adventureland side. This could be a pirate hotel. That'd be cool.
Might
and
be.
You could go into Adventureland right by Pirates. Ooh. Better yet, why don't they make it like a new concept where it's like a pirate cruise ship, and then you can have it do a voyage into Adventureland.
Okay. I don't think they want to venture back into that yet so soon.
It's a themed resort where it's like pirate actors and everything.
Mm-hmm. No, that didn't
didn't work.
Try that once already.
Yeah.
And let me guess, it's going to be super expensive and be 2 nights at a time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, do it like a cruise ship, but on land. But this would be different.
Why has no one ever thought of that before?
Yeah, right. This would be different because you could sail the Seven Seas Lagoon in an actual pirate ship. That'd be fun.
Okay. Anyway.
But yeah, they could build a resort there.
I think it could be a combination.
Another question, if they actually built a resort there, would you put it on the monorail line and have it be a stop right between Grand Floridian and Magic Kingdom?
Well, as close as that is right there, you just make it walk into the park if you're going to do a resort there. That's the only thing that makes sense.
Yeah. Sad that they couldn't add a new monorail resort, though.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Although you do have hotels out in Disneyland, like the Grand Californian, that has both. Right? Or does it? Or no, it doesn't have both. The monorail just goes
I don't think it stops anymore.
No, it doesn't stop there. You're right. Yeah, it doesn't stop there. It doesn't have a station.
It's just
goes
like
yeah.
Yeah.
So out there, they never had that actually stop at a hotel.
Yeah, it's basically downtown Disney and the Tomorrowland.
Although it is out front of the original Disneyland hotel somewhat.
Right. It's kind of connected to that one. And I mean, from Grand Californian, I guess you could walk to it too.
Well, you can walk to everything there, but
true.
Pretty
Very
easily.
True. Anywho, but perhaps part of the construction that is going on right now behind Big Thunder, beyond Big Thunder, is connected
Beyond
to this
Thunderdome.
project where I don't know if it's going to feed into Villains Land or whatever else they're going to do, but
no,
it does make you wonder.
I don't know.
They might be moving some of the backstage further backstage to make room for more.
Whatever this stuff is, it's a long way off.
Yeah.
That's all I can say.
It's just the very beginnings of, 2030. We'll find out what this is. Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, we might not see this until the next decade.
Yeah. Probably not even the next D23. We'll find out what it is yet. But anyway.
Yep.
But thanks to the internet and satellite photos and everything and permits, whatever, we can figure out that something's going on, and then we can just speculate all day, which is what makes it fun.
I'm going to say it's not too much longer that they'll start having projects that I'll start seeing. Maybe I could schedule my retirement party at. I mean, if that's
right. Yeah, indeed.
Because of how long it takes.
So this was something I saw on social media as well that Disney shared. The update to Tiana's Bayou Adventure at Magic Kingdom. So they're already enhancing the ride by adding 2 stars.
But this is a small thing. Yes. They added a couple of stars.
Right. When I saw the video that they posted online, I was like, wait, what? They're already making updates to this ride? That's cool. And then I'm like, oh, that's all they did? Oh, okay. But it's more of a timeline thing. But that's cool. I mean, at least they're continuing to do stuff to the ride.
Yeah.
So,
well, I mean, just small enhancements in that case.
Is this what was causing the ride to break down so much?
Right.
They needed stars there.
They needed Evangeline.
The stars to guide them.
Yes. Yes. They did. Well, while they were working on lights, like the ground lighting in Epcot. So,
yes, that was
apparently to its former glory now.
Well,
it was glory of the first 2 days.
Right, it was becoming the Yeti of Epcot. It's a new neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
So right in front of the statue that looks like a, the lighting is finally like it looks on Soarin' when you're at the end, when they had to digitally make that look.
That's what motivated them.
Right.
It's like, we got to fix this now.
Right. So it finally looks better.
I actually heard something today. I don't know how true it is. Apparently, they kept trying to repair it, and it didn't quite work out, so they just replaced the whole thing.
Oh, really? Wow.
And that's what I've heard. So
I wonder how they did that without
closing it down.
Yeah, they did not put walls up.
I don't know. I don't know about replace. I don't mean replace. Whatever the parts or whatever it was that was failing, they replaced the whole thing, I guess, instead of trying to fix it.
Yeah.
I don't think they replaced. I don't literally mean I think they replaced like all the lighting.
Yeah.
I would find that hard to believe. I think whatever it was failing, they replaced. So,
Right. Well, at least with the lights on, it actually looks cool and they're all working.
right. Looks like what it's supposed to look like around there.
But it's one of those things too where when you're watching Spaceship Earth and one of the LED lights on Spaceship Earth is not working and just stands out to you.
Yep.
But I haven't seen that in a while either, so I guess they've been good at making sure those are all working too.
Mm-hmm.
So all new Moana Step and Artful Photo Op coming to the Festival of the Arts. That it's sad that I have not been back to Journey of Water since it
when it
really
opened.
opened. I don't think I have. Have I?
Tisk.
I think we briefly went through it back in June.
You haven't taken the Journey of Water since the initial journey?
Yeah. Maybe briefly we did back in... No, I think we did it back in Memorial Day weekend. So we did walk through it again. But it's just, it's not one that draws me back every time.
See?
So, but there's going to be one, it says near Journey of Water. One of those kind of painting photos that you can, living paintings you can get in and have a photopass picture made.
So you can be like Mary Poppins.
Right, exactly. Or George Washington crossing the Delaware or something. Or Starry Night. Wasn't there another one like that? I think. The Da Vinci Code? Yeah. Or there was a Mona Lisa one maybe or something. I don't remember.
I don't know.
That's what the arts. Which I'll miss it because I'll be there the week before Festival of the Arts starts back. So I guess I'll have Diet Epcot as well.
Yeah, there you go.
So I'll miss it.
I arrive when it starts.
You'll have to tell me how Farts is this year.
And if they've actually redone the festival center for it. Or whatever.
Yeah, good point. What's Communicore Hall going to be like?
Yeah, Communicore
when
Hall
I'm there versus when you're there for the Farts Festival.
Well, it looks like they've made more efforts ever since people said something about it. But
right,
at least.
You see anything else that strikes your interest?
Well, I was going to say, this is interesting how the cruise line has a limited time offer of pay only 50% of the required deposit on select cruises in 2025 and 2026. This kind of leads me to believe that the bookings aren't what they had hoped right now.
Does that mean you only pay half of what they require, but you still pay the other half later? Or it's 50% off the deposit completely? That's what I was trying to figure out from the wording of
it. Okay, well, let's just see. Pay only half of your required deposit on the day you make your reservation. So you're basically getting a discount.
Well, you're delaying.
Not a discount. You're getting a break. Yeah, right. on the payment. Like you don't have to pay as much up front.
Right. But you still have to pay that other 50% of the deposit just later. Is that what
basically they've just cut what's required in half is what I'm getting from it. Right. For a time period. So obviously they don't want to just make it that price all the time is what they're saying. Right. Which is only for a time period where you're letting you
not pay as much up front.
Pay half the normal amount up front.
But you still pay it. So it's not a 50% discount. It's just off of the deposit. It's just 50% less that you have to pay for a short time.
Right. Yeah. Which think about it, if it's one night sailing, let's just say it was $400. Now you're down to only $200.
Yeah. Right. So I mean that's nice, but you still have to pay that other $200. It's not a 50% discount.
Yeah, I mean I get that, but I just feel like they're doing that because I think that it encourages more initial bookings.
Yeah, right. If you don't have to pay
less up front, right?
Yeah. You're more willing to say, "Well, I'll book it. Why not?"
Yeah,
it'll help you pull the trigger on it.
By the time this comes around, I'll either cancel it or I will have the money.
Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So
I'll win the
yeah.
lottery by then, or I'll just cancel it.
By the way, from what I've seen and what I've heard actually on about the treasure,
Ooh.
it's kind of what I anticipated. Like I liked the fantasy better than the dream, and I anticipate that I would like the treasure better than the wish. Even though I've
Okay.
sailed on neither, just looking at what's there, I think the treasure is going to be a more fun of a ship.
I need to see on the treasure is how hard is it to get into the Haunted Mansion lounge?
That's the only thing you need to see.
Yeah, because that would be my main reason for going. And it's like, are they going to do it Oga's Cantina style where you have a time limit, or because no one's going to want to leave that lounge? I'd stay there the whole cruise.
Well,
I mean,
no,
that'd be awesome, wouldn't it?
Yes, but I mean, there is more stuff. As a matter of fact, I was looking. I think it was it Attractions Magazine? Maybe it was one of them that had. Yeah, they showed a couple of things, like Villains Game Night was one of the things they showed on there on the treasure. There's a lot of people talking about the live action Moana and Maui. So it's called the Tale of Moana stage show. Particularly how impressive the Tamatoa that they used looked on the stage show.
Oh.
So, yeah, things like that.
Yeah, I would definitely want to see that. Yeah. That would get me out of the Haunted Mansion lounge. For
and then there's the, the Indiana Jones show that they have there. You know that they have that?
No, wait, tell me more. Is it like the stunt show, but on a cruise ship stage?
No, it's not the stunt show. It's a stage show, though.
Is it a musical? Indiana Jones the musical?
No, it's not the musical. I know it exists, though. It is actually, I can't remember what it's called. That's the problem. But yes, it is one of the things you can do on the treasure.
Choose wisely. An Indiana Jones comedy?
Yes.
Well, it says. Interesting.
I think that would be fun, to be honest. So it's got a lot of fun stuff on it. That's the thing. I feel like it's got more. And these are ones that you don't see on in any of the other ships. Like it's not even close to anything they've had on any of the other ships.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, it's a comedy show that is Indiana Jones themed. I'll have to look more into what. Yeah, that would get me out of the Haunted Mansion lounge too.
I have already given you 3 reasons to leave the Haunted Mansion bar.
Right.
I'm eager to see her coming up because we should have within the next week, we should start having more video of more of the ship. Yeah. I just feel like I would enjoy this ship more than the Wish.
I agree completely, yeah.
And I used to think that the reason why I was partial to it was because I went on it first and then went on the Dream. But in reality, the fantasy was just better. Even though they're sister ships, there's a lot of similarities, but the fantasy overall was just like particularly the adult, like the nightlife section was better than the Dream. So the setup for that part was better than the Dream.
Right. Yeah. There's a minor story that we have a logo for the Disney Starlight Parade that's coming next summer. I am looking forward to this because I'm hoping for a really catchy song that reminds me of Spectrum Magic. Having a nighttime parade, I think, will be much appreciated at Magic Kingdom. Was the elf on the shelf doing something behind you?
No, I wasn't going to say I backed into our second tree over here.
You almost knocked over your second tree.
Yes. I think that's a thing nowadays to have multiple trees in your house.
It is, because I really want a second one too, but I haven't done it yet. But I definitely want another one.
Yeah.
So
it's not our primary tree. This is kind of like the one for you can see from the road.
Yeah, that's exactly why I want a second one, to have one in the front.
Yeah. Anyway. So it's not your main tree, but it's like one that can be on display, so to speak.
Right. One that you can see from the road. Speaking of things you can see from the far off, you've shared this story about the Walt Disney Company opening a New York headquarters with the name Robert A. Iger Building. Is it going to be in bold letters on top of the building, though? Probably not.
Not likely, no. It's just I just found it funny that they would name it that. Anyway,
It makes sense though. He's not.
is this his company now?
I mean, I would think that he feels that.
Is there anyone else, any other CEOs that's ever had a building named after them?
I mean,
Besides Walt.
his tenure has really brought Disney into the 21st century. So I think he would say it's only fitting that he gets a building. But
does he say so?
I bet he gets free parking there in Manhattan.
None of the other CEOs have had the board, or at least it didn't appear that they had the board in their pockets. So that's all I'm going to say about that.
Why did it take so long to get him back in there, though?
What do you mean?
Although I guess maybe they finally just
took so long. He was only gone like 2 years.
I know. Surprised it took that long, though. But
I still stand by my original statement of how he totally set JPEG up for failure.
I feel like HBO should make a new Succession show about Disney.
Maybe. Like I said, I look as time goes on. You know how sometimes you look back at certain eras and remember them more fondly than before. I look back at Eisner's reign as actually being a lot better than people originally would have thought while it was going on.
Yeah.
So
there was definitely, especially the 90s, that definitely was the Disney decade, wasn't it?
Well, I mean, it was the time period that kind of, if you think about it, it was the building blocks for what we are today, because the reason, you know, you have a lot of the families that want to go now is because they grew up going in the 90s.
Yeah.
Or they grew up with Disney in the 90s. You got to remember, Disney Channel became mainstream in the 90s. It came mainstream in 1994 when it became a part of cable. Yeah. Prior to that, it was a premium, right?
Right.
So it was expanded to new eyes and to more people.
Right.
I think it was 94, 93, 94, somewhere in that range.
And they could market, because they frequently marketed stuff about the parks on the Disney Channel.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It helped spur that on, people to come out and.
You know, it's funny. That's another one. We were talking about Moana not too long ago, and how its original film didn't do well at the box office, but it blew up when it went to Disney Plus, right? Back when Disney Channel first went on the air, a film that they had come out with that didn't do well in the box office was Hocus Pocus. But when they started showing it on the Disney Channel, it gained a lot of popularity, a bit of a cult following, and what do we have now? I mean, it's definitely a cult classic today, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's funny how those happen like that.
Mm-hmm.
Not just with Disney movies, but in general. But it doesn't always find the right audience in theaters.
When you're starting out with something, sometimes it takes a while to gain traction. So basically, whatever it was about the film, it didn't motivate people to go to the box office. But when they actually saw it, it didn't cost them anything. It just happened to be on TV and something that actually they saw, hey, this is pretty good. Yeah, I know that was my case. The first place I saw was Disney Channel.
So. Yeah, makes sense. I'm sure there's several more examples like that too.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I think that'll do it for this.
Put a bow on it.
Put a bow on it. It is the Christmas season. I'm just trying to think ahead.
Yeah, we are inside the 12 days of Christmas now.
Right. So let's see. Yeah, I'm working on a puzzle.
Are you?
It's already over halfway. An advent calendar puzzle thing. It's already over halfway. But anyway, so the next episode will be like Christmas. So.
Will it? No.
Yeah, Christmas week.
Oh, I guess it
23rd will come out on 23rd. So
yeah, I guess it will.
Where can we be found out there on the internets?
So we are found on Facebook, X, and Instagram. That's all at TWTM Podcast. We have a Spreadshirt store, which you can get your exclusive TWTM merchandise. That is shop.spreadshirt.com/TWTM Podcast. We have a YouTube channel. And where can you find that, Adam?
Our website, which is travelingwiththemouse.com. You can email us podcast at travelingwiththemouse.com. So, for John, my name is Adam. This has been Traveling with the Mouse, and we hope you will join us on our next trip.
When we're tripping on mushrooms.
Kali River Rapids is doing its regular refurb too,
it's gonna be
January
down, too.
6th. So I was
Like I said, it'd be an easy
January 6th through March 15th, just like Gran Fiesta
So
Tour.
if you go first quarter, you can do the challenge with a breeze probably.
Yeah, I'm like,
because everything is closed.
especially if Bridge of America and the rafts closes.
Yeah,
at some
not long
point
after.
during,
Yeah.
if it
does it
happens
during
to
that
close
time
in
period.
March, early
Yeah.
March or something.